to speak to and move Amendment 13813.1. 7 minutes, please, Mr Lockhart.
Thank you very much, Deputy Presiding Officer. We very much welcome this debate on social enterprise and the well-deserved recognition of the Social Enterprise World Forum taking place across Scotland this week. Let me add my congratulations to community enterprise in Scotland and to everyone else involved in supporting this event, which, as the Cabinet Secretary highlighted, will attract more than 1,400 people from across the world. Since the first Social Enterprise World Forum back in 2008, social enterprises around the world have transformed lives, revitalised communities and have helped tackle some major economic issues. And Scotland has been at the forefront of these developments. We've heard that there are today over 5,000 social enterprises in Scotland playing an increasingly important role in our changing economy and contributing in ways that commercial enterprises do not. They play a unique role in economic, social and community development. They often save the public purse, for example, by helping to reduce reoffending rates through employing individuals who sometimes are passed over by the commercial sector. The sector is female-led. More than 60% of social enterprises are led by women, and social enterprises reach across all parts of Scotland, cities, towns and villages. And I would add my congratulations to the town of Callander, which is in my region, which has been named Scotland's first social enterprise place in recognition of it being a hotspot of social enterprise activity, with organisations such as Callander Youth Project Trust, Callander Community Hydro, being great examples of the impact they can make in the local community. The latest social enterprise census provides an encouraging picture. More than 110,000 people employed by social enterprises across Scotland. And this debate, I think, gives us the opportunity to look at how we can build on that success. And our amendment to the government motion today referred to recent evidence given to the Economy Committee by leading stakeholders in the sector, because this evidence highlighted some of the key opportunities and challenges facing the sector going ahead. And I think we need to address them to ensure that Scotland has an ongoing leadership role to play in the future. I would like to highlight three of the issues highlighted in the committee by the stakeholders. First is the issue of financial and business support available to the sector. Nora Senior, Chair of the Strategic Board, gave the following evidence. Social enterprises are currently on the cusp. They do not fall under a single criterion for investment. Some of them really struggle to get the investment they need to grow. It would be helpful if there was a mechanism to address this. The committee heard further evidence that there is a cluttered landscape of financial and business support for the development of social enterprise. Grants, project funding and other finance are available from a long list of different agencies with different objectives and outcomes attached to the funding streams. So this is hindering the sector's development. And this is not just a question of financial support. Social enterprise needs business support. It's often difficult for a new social enterprise to get help with business planning or setting up an office or hiring staff. So this is an area I would encourage the Cabinet Secretary to take forward. We need to ensure government policy for enterprise development across the commercial sector and the social enterprise sectors are better aligned and that support is better coordinated across government agencies. The Scottish Government's Enterprise and Skills Review, published in June last year, was, I think, a bit of a missed opportunity to do this, and I would welcome the Cabinet Secretary's thoughts on how these issues can be addressed in the future. Another issue, as I mentioned earlier, was the role of public procurement of contracts, an important issue highlighted by stakeholders at the committee. We heard that public procurement policy should be used more effectively to promote social enterprises in local authority areas. The public sector in Scotland spends around 11 billion a year in the public procurement of goods and services, but figures published last week show that the number of Scottish businesses winning work from the local authority has halved over the last decade. From over 50,000 in 2008, just under 30,000 local suppliers were successful in local tenders last year. That's a real concern. It means we are missing the potential to support local businesses and communities, including social enterprises. Recent changes to EU procurement law means that the Scottish Government and local authorities do have the legal framework. They do have the powers to make a difference here and further promote the level of public procurement to social enterprises, especially those that are supported businesses, and to get them further involved in public sector contracts. Again, I look forward to the Cabinet Secretary addressing this issue perhaps in her closing remarks. Another important concern raised with the committee was the lack of clarity of government policy on social enterprise and the question of how government agencies define whether or not an organisation is actually a social enterprise. It's a pretty fundamental concern raised by a number of witnesses. One witness told the committee there is a concern about uncertainty around the definition of social enterprise, given the possibility of commercial organisations suggesting that they are social enterprises when, in fact, they're not. As we know, there is no legal definition in Scotland of what is a social enterprise. The Social Enterprise Code is a helpful guide for what best practice is, but it is not definitive. As a result, a number of people are confused as to how they should arrange their business affairs, how they should incorporate their company or business in order to qualify as a social enterprise. Another witness told the committee, "I could not understand how to make the business model work to become a social enterprise." Again, this is another area I think the Cabinet Secretary should take forward so that there's further clarity on what constitutes a social enterprise in Scotland. Presiding Officer, let me conclude by repeating our strong support for the social enterprise sector in Scotland and wishing the Social Enterprise World Forum every success. I have outlined some constructive challenges that I think need to be addressed going forward. These were raised by the key stakeholders in the sector themselves, so that the social enterprise sector in Scotland has the very strong foundations for ongoing future success. I move the amendment in my name.
I call Monique